I'd like to take a minute to walk you through the WileyPlus system and how the assignments are graded. First, you need to register for the course. The explanation for how to do that is on a PDF found on the D2L site under the Orientation tab. After you've registered for the course, you should see a view like this, where you see that there are assignments. So if we click on the Assignments button, notice there are due dates here, suggested due dates for the practice assignments, and final due dates for the Orion assignments down here. Let's go through each type of assignment. So for the practice assignments, these are graded based off of completion, not correctness. Because of that, I'm allowing you up to 15 attempts per question, and it will show you solutions and help along the way. I would recommend that since these problems are also in the book under the same numbers, open the book, try the problem out. Once you think you've got the answer, go to the question, and then answer the question. See if it's correct. If it's incorrect, it will tell you. You can go back to your notes, you can go back to the problem in the book, try to find the correct answer, and then come back and try that one. The other type of assignment, besides the practice problems and the online quizzes, are the Orion assignments. These take a little bit more explanation. So if we click on Orion, first off it tells you have to answer 40 questions until you receive credit. This actually won't be that hard. So once you've opened up Orion, this is your proficiency platform. What it does is it will give you a proficiency score for each chapter depending on how well you answer the questions. To begin each chapter, you just click on Begin. First, you want to tell us how confident you are in the material. We're going to say that I feel somewhat confident. I feel okay. Let's continue along. You'll be asked a series of questions to make sure that just to gauge your general confidence in the material. If you're not sure about the question, go to Mark for Review and hit Submit. Because this is the first time I've done this, I'm going to do this for each of the first 20 questions. After you've gone through the first 20 questions or so, you'll give a performance report. You want to skip this. We'll go back to the main menu, and we can see under Chapter 1 you have proficiency scores for each section of the chapter. There's also a study option, which will guide you through some readings or practice. So let's practice some questions here. How many valence electrons does nitrogen have? You should know from general chemistry that there are 5 valence electrons in nitrogen. I'm very confident in this, so I'll click I know it, and I will hit Submit. Notice there's a green box around here, meaning I got it correct. So I'm going to hit Next. Notice over here, there's a little green bar that says I got that last question correct. How many valence electrons does fluorine have? This one has 7. I feel pretty confident about this, so I'm going to submit this. Hit Next. Notice that one is correct as well. So let's go back to check my progress. My current chapter proficiency is only 56% because I've only answered 2 questions. Let's go back to the main menu that I was talking about before. Here we are. Notice this says I'm 81% proficient in the second section. I'm grading these proficiencies out of a score of 80%, so this would be 100%. Almost. What you need to notice also is that we've only answered 2 questions. Notice this green bar is pretty faded. As you answer more questions, it's going to fill in more completely. So let's do a few more questions. What is the molecular formula for the structure below? Let's count it. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons. So this is C4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hydrogens. And 1 oxygen. Confident in this one. I'm going to answer this one incorrectly. I'm just going to say C2. And I will answer this one incorrectly as well. So let's go back to the original section. Now you should notice that because I got a few questions incorrect on this one, my proficiency is down to 33%. Notice though the yellow bar is darker than the green bar was originally. For a proficiency score to actually be accurate, you have to answer enough questions to get one of these bars so that it looks like it's solid. Okay, so in this example, I've answered 7 questions. I believe that based on those 7 questions, the system can assess my proficiency accurately. Notice over here, Chapter 1, you see it's kind of a faded red bar. That means I haven't answered enough questions. So at the end, when I'm going to do the grading, what I will do is I will look at each of the sections. I will see which have solid bars and only grade those. If you don't have a solid bar, that section will be a 0. In general, you need to answer about 7 or 8 questions to get a grade for that section. Lastly, though, the most important thing is it's not over at this point. You can do more problems. So if I want to get my score up from 33%, I'll just practice some more. If I get another question correct, notice the green box, I've gotten it correct. I can go back to the original screen, and now my proficiency score is up to 60%. So this would be a 6 out of 8 on this section of the homework. So as you work on building your proficiency in Orion, you want to remember that the more practice you do, the better your score can be. It's not graded out of the percentage correct that you got. For example, 4 out of 8 is 50%, not 60. It depends on how quickly you answer the question, how confident you are in the question, and whether or not you get the question correct. This will take a little bit of practice, but Chapter 1 isn't graded. So Chapter 1 is General Chemistry Review. I'd recommend you go through Chapter 1, see if you can get a high proficiency score in Chapter 1, just practice with the system.